everyone is talking about everyone who's going to be at Christmas and how crazy or weird or whatever they are. And that includes how crazy or weird or whatever you are, my friend. Welcome to the Farmish Kind of Life podcast, where we talk about homesteading stuff and life stuff and everything in between. Join me, Amy Dingman, as we explore big questions on a little farm. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Farmish Kind of Life podcast, where we talk about life and how to live a good one. Thank you for joining me here at episode 260. Today is December 18th, 2023. It is 1 week until Christmas. Y'all, how you feeling about that? A little stressed? Today's topic is the one thing that I want you to remember for holiday gatherings. You're probably getting ready to do some holiday gatherings, some Christmas partying, and there's lots of stress going on out there, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of, oh, I don't want to do this. Here's the one thing that I want you to remember for holiday gatherings, and it's a little bit humbling and a little bit ouch, but it's very real. And so that is the topic for today. But before we get into that, what's been happening on the lifestead? Well, we did have some rain, slush, snow mixture over this weekend. Not a lot of snow, mostly a lot of rain, which is crazy. Rain in December, crazy. And it was a huge mess because the ground is frozen here, obviously. And so there's nowhere for the water to go. So we had rain, which made tons and tons and tons of puddle and standing water. I mean, not like flooding or anything, but lots and lots of water everywhere. And then it kind of changed to this slushy snow stuff. So then that was sitting there and it never really froze all the way. I was really concerned that it was going to be glare ice as soon as the temps dropped because there's so much water everywhere. And that didn't happen. We hovered at right about 33, 32. Very, very messy, but not a lot of snow. And I think we're supposed to be up in the 40s this week. 40s at the end of December. What is going on? So 40s this coming week. So I think it's safe to say that we're not going to have a white Christmas this year. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And no snow makes everything so much easier on the farm. It makes it so much easier to get places. But the thing is that no snow means that we are just continuing this drought that we've been in for what feels like forever. And people don't always think about that. When you don't have a lot of snow, it's like, great, there's no snow. And we don't have to deal with all the yuck with having all the snow, but then not having the snow also means we are very, very behind on moisture still. Oh my word. Also, as a side note, if you ever make a TikTok about anything having to do with the weather, I want you to know that your comment section is going to devolve into arguments about whether or not global warming is real. Nobody's going to pay attention to anything you've said in your TikTok. They're just going to argue about global warming. So there you go. Be careful with your TikToks. What else? I have this adorable kitten here on the farm whose name is Pinocchio. And I don't know why the name is Pinocchio. You know, if you've been here long enough, you know that animals tell me their name. And this cat told me his or her name was Pinocchio. I think it's a boy. It might be a girl. You would think in all the years that I've had cats that I would be an expert at telling if you're a boy or a girl cat, but some of them still, I'm just not quite sure. I'm pretty sure this is a boy, but anyway, so Pinocchio is probably, 4 or 5 months old. And Pinocchio does this adorable thing where I come into the barn every morning and every night to do chores and various other times in the day just to check on stuff. And he will run out from wherever he is and he will stop at my feet and he will put his little paws up on my legs. He doesn't climb. He doesn't do anything other than just put his little paws up on my legs as high as he can reach. And he's asking for a hug. And so then I pick him up and little Pinocchio climbs up on my shoulder and snuggles me and purrs in my ear. And he's just adorable. And it's a thing that we do now. And doing chores with a kitten on your shoulder is not very safe for either of you because the person is kind of contorting themselves into this position where they feel like the cat is safer, right? So you're walking kind of hunched over and the kitten is just being a kitten and I'm afraid they're going to fall. And so, so we have decided that now before we have chore time, we have to have loving time, which is where I sit on the ground and I hug with Pinocchio. This is my life, y'all. What else? In the Sharp Things saga, last week in the intro, I believe I talked about, starting to get into this restoring axe blades or, things like that, which all started with sharpening them all and all of that. Well, now it's become this huge rabbit hole. And this past weekend, I actually made a handle for a hatchet blade, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know the terminology for the stuff I'm doing, you guys. I made a handle for a hatchet because we had a hatchet head that was all rusty, that had a broken handle on it, and I had taken that old handle off and kind of restored the blade a little bit. And then I thought, we'll just buy a handle and I'll put it on there. And my husband said, well, yeah, you can buy one or you could make one. And I'm like, what? You're kidding, right? And he's like, no, why would I be kidding? And that just started a whole rabbit trail. And I am someone who really likes to do things the old-fashioned way. My husband would say the more difficult way, for no reason at all, Amy. But I really like to do things, I guess, the more difficult way. So my husband goes out, he finds a piece of wood in our woodshed from a big oak log that we had, and so gets me this piece of wood, and then I trace a handle on it from another hatchet we had, and then used the bandsaw to kind of cut that out of the wood. But then I decided we're not using any more power tools. We are going to do this the old way, and I have a wood rasp, which I think is a pattern maker's rasp, they call it. I don't know. I may be talking out of my butt here, but I decided I was just going to use that to shape the handle, which takes forever. But here's what I learned. Shaping a handle with a rasp is, to me, very, very relaxing, very soothing. You guys, it was the weirdest thing. My husband is looking at me like, Amy, we have power tools. You could get this done so much faster. I'm like, but I don't want to. It was this whole thing. I was in the zone. I feel like I was channeling my ancestors or something. Long story short, I made this hatchet handle and I was so excited about this, like an absolute dork, like a total nerd. And I was so proud of it. I told my husband, I want to bring this to bed with me and sleep with it on my pillow because I'm so proud of this handle. And he's like, no, Amy, you're not doing that. But if you are listening to this right after this releases, you can go on Facebook, on my Facebook page, A Farmish Kind of Life, and you can find pictures, you can find video on TikTok of me doing this. This is a thing, and I'm really enjoying sharp things and handles for sharp things. It's a new obsession of mine. So I will try not to spend all my time talking about sharp things and their handles, but I'm not promising that it's actually going to happen. With that, let's get into this holiday excitement that is coming up and talk about the one thing that I want you to remember as you are heading out to these holiday gatherings that might be making you a little bit crazy. Here's the one thing you need to remember. We are getting down to it, right? We are creeping up on Christmas here. Christmas is next week. And so many people are posting about Christmas and how it's so stressful. Or, oh my God, I have to see my relatives and I have all these parties I have to go to and I have to see all these people that I don't really want to see and they're all crazy, right? Oh my God, this time of year is too much. And the crazy thing is that most people are posting these things, right? They're thinking them or they're venting to their bestie about them. And we post these things thinking everyone out there is trying to make our lives crazy, and we're the normal ones, right? Everybody else at the Christmas party is crazy people. We are the normal ones. We're the enlightened ones. We're the ones who know what's going on, right? When the reality is we make each other crazy. That's what it means to be a human being. You are not the only enlightened one in your family. You are not the only normal one in your family. Everyone is talking about everyone who's going to be at Christmas and how crazy or weird or whatever they are. And that includes how crazy or weird or whatever you are, my friend. Everyone's going to be driving home from that Christmas celebration talking about what everyone else did. And that includes what you did, my friend. We all drive each other crazy without even trying, and there isn't much that we can do about that because that's just part of being human and how other people interpret the choices we make as a human being. I hear people say, and you probably hear this too, my spouse is so different than their siblings. How is that even possible? How is it possible that my spouse came from this family? Because they're all crazy and my spouse isn't. You've heard people say that. Or you hear people say, I'm so different than everyone else in my family. Or I'm the only normal person at my place of employment. We've heard this, right? And what we don't get is that everyone else in those families or those places of work is also saying the same thing about themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? We see the world through our eyes. And we process the world through our brain, and that's why we think we are different. We are different, but so is everyone else. Everyone is different. We're all seeing the world through our own set of eyes and processing everything through our own brain and our own experiences and our own everything. That's why we're all different. I know that you are frustrated with your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother or your grandma or your cousin or your coworker, and you're telling your bestie all about it. And you know what? Right now, your mom or your dad or your sister or brother or grandma or cousin or coworker or whoever is telling their bestie about you. Have you ever considered that? There's a quote by Atticus that says, "It is so easy to forget we are all the same as all the others in thinking that we are different." And the first time I saw this quote, it was like a fist upside the head. I was like, whoa. Because it's so true. I'm going to tell you again so you can sit with it for a minute. It is so easy to forget we are all the same as all the others in thinking that we are different. Holy moly, right? Totally true. We all think we're different, and we are different. But the fact that we're all different really makes us the same. Isn't that crazy? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your holiday celebration. I want you to eat food. I want you to be happy. I want you to drink all the wine. I want you to play the silly games. I want you to roll your eyes at whoever you need to roll your eyes at. But know that they are probably rolling their eyes at you too, and it doesn't freaking matter. We're all just people. We're all just trying to figure out life. We all suck sometimes. We all do stupid things and amazing things, and then more stupid things, and then more amazing things. And that has been true forever and ever and ever. It's true now. It will be true in the future. It was true at those Christmases from 1950 that we want to fantasize about. Go to your holiday celebration and be a human being. And realize everybody else there is a human being. We're all different, and in some weird way, that's what makes us all the same. Now, I do want to put a side note here. I know that some of you have dealt with some real family trauma, and this episode is not to discredit that. It's not to invalidate that. So please take this episode with however much salt and pepper you need to apply it to your own situation, because some of us are walking into a holiday gathering and we're frustrated because we know that Aunt Shelley is going to criticize our diet and what we let our kids do, right? Others of us are walking into a holiday gathering where someone in the room abused us or neglected us as a child. Some of us are walking into a holiday celebration where people have said or done horrible things that cannot ever be undone. For some of us, that's Christmas, okay? And I understand that, and if you can't take anything from this episode, I get that. But if you can, it's there for you. So I just wanted to put that out there. Having said that, keep that quote by Atticus in your mind as you are at that Christmas celebration. It is so easy to forget we are all the same as all the others in thinking that we are different. Your aunt, your cousin, your coworker might be thinking the same exact thing about you that you're thinking about them right now. You are not the only enlightened person. You are not the only special person. You're not the only normal person, whatever it is that you think when you're going to these celebrations. We're all just people, y'all. We're all just trying to figure this out. All right. You go and have an amazing week with all your holiday celebrations. I hope you have a great time. I hope you eat all the wonderful food and have great conversations and enjoy your family and your friends and all your peoples. And I will be back after Christmas to chat with you again. Have a great week, and I will talk to you again soon. Hope you enjoyed the show today. To continue the conversation, visit our website at afarmishkindoflife.com, find A Farmish Kind of Life on social media, or drop me an email at amy@afarmishkindoflife.com. Peace, love, and bacon, y'all. Stay farmish.